Good morning, Heather. Yes, please. I would appreciate the likes, so that would be really nice. Well, I still need 14 of the key rings, but I don't think we're going to make them today. I've got 2 days to get those 14 done, so I'm not in as big a rush as I was. I did quite a few in the last few days, so I'm not atrociously worried about them yet. So, hi, Anita. So we'll see what we decide to do today. Hi, Brandy. Haven't seen you for a little bit. Hope you're doing good. Um, I've been sitting here just going, what do I want to do? I don't know. How am I doing? Well, I was feeling better. Yesterday, I felt pretty good when it came right down to it. And then this morning, I got up for a while. I was doing great. And then my back started hurting again. And I'm like, really? This is getting bloody ridiculous. I'm tired of this crap. Hey, Donna. But, you don't always get what you want. Hey, Georgina. Though one good thing is my grandson is feeling better today. The IVC and the medication I gave him seemed to be doing the trick. And even though he still doesn't feel great, he is feeling better and he has stopped vomiting. So that's good. But, so, so, but now my daughter is saying she doesn't feel good. And I'm like, oh, for cripe's sake. It's not one of us, it's another one. But, oh well, it is what it is. So, I've been debating, trying to figure out what I really want to do today. I don't feel like doing the same old. But at the same time, I'm not sure what I do feel like making. So that can always be a bit of a interesting interesting way of being, It's like, oh dear. What is going on here? So I do have this box of goodies from Randy. I have these snowflakes. They're they're plastic or resin or one of those things, but I'm trying to decide, do since they're a pair, I'm thinking they'll make some really cute earrings because they are plastic, they'd be lightweight. But hi, Dawn. Oh, thanks, guys. Christmas ornament? Yeah. I was actually debating. I made snowflakes the other day, though I still need to make some more. And I've been debating making some icicles. We could make an icicle or two. How many of you guys make icicles for Christmas time? I think icicles are pretty. Hey, Kimberly. And I do have a show in like 2 or 3 weeks, so I will need to get ready for that too. But you've never made icicles? And Dawn's never made icicles either? Well, then, I think we need to make some icicles. Well, let me get some crystals because I usually use quite a few crystals in mine, and then I'll decide on a color and put a colored bead in as well. But I have lots of crystals because, well, Those of you who watch me very often know I have a true love of crystals. So we'll get out some of our bigger crystals and we'll make us an icicle. So I have crystals. We have some crystals. And we're going to turn down and we'll decide on which crystals we want to use for at least the first one. We'll probably make more than one. Icicles don't take a long time to make, so they're pretty simple. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I mean. You're just sitting there staring at your mat. Are you having troubles with coming up with something you want to do? If you are, I'm sorry to hear that. I hate it when I can't think of what I want to make. So we're going to get some good sized crystals out here. I tend to do a variety of sizes. And there is no particular length you have to make your crystals. You can make them whatever you want. Make them small, large. And there's no particular mount you need to use either. Depends, do you want a really long crystal? I mean snowflake, or icicle. Think, or get your words right, Rose. Or do you want something smaller? So now here's some clear ones, and if we wanted to, we could pop a little bit of color in there. Say we wanted, some blue maybe. No, not those. Now I'll probably take some of these little crystals out because I'm not going to want this many once I decide what I want to do as far as adding some blue in here. I've had that happen to me before, Dawn, on the small ones. Snap the ends off. Yeah, it's a pain in the rear. So now we've got to decide, do we want any spacers in here? For one thing, you really don't need them. You can add them if you prefer, but you don't really need them. And why that is because what I do with my icicles is I start up here, go through all the beads, come down here, leave some space, make a small loop because I usually hang like a snowflake or something from the bottom. And then I just wrap it around the beads as we come back up. So you need to decide to figure out about how long your icicle strand is going to be. And then you want at least 3 to 4 times the wire that you need to just go through the beads. So I get my 20 gauge out, getting a little slim because I've used a lot of it, but I do have more, so that's not an issue. And we're gonna, I don't usually do this, and you don't have to, you can do it by hand, but this looks like about 4 inches. So we want either between 16 and 20 inches. So there's, 12. And I'm going to go about right here. Now, you don't have to straighten this wire up because, well, you do want to straighten up where it's going through the bead strand. But other than that, it's going to be wrapped around your beads. So it's just going to become wrapped. So it doesn't make a difference. So now I'm going to make a wrapped loop up here at the top, just like I would normally. Hey, Mary. And I think we'll use the second one. So this loop is a little bigger, just in case we need it to be bigger. You don't really, because I put a hook on, but. So then we're going to hold that like we would normally, and we're going to wrap this loop up. When you come back up, you'll probably end up having to go over this wrap. So no big deal if it's messy or whatever. So now we're just going to start at the top here and put these beads onto our bead strand. As I say, if you want to use spacers to add a little bit more to it, you can. I have used spacers on these before. Frequently do, so it's not a big deal. But and then we'll slide those up to the other side over here. Ta-da, there they are. So make it and straighten that up. Now we want to leave, like I said, some space here. And then we're going to do a little wrap right here. Probably only going to put like 1 or 2 wraps around on it. And it doesn't need to be the bigger one. It can be the smaller. We're just going to hang a snowflake or something on here. So then we'll wrap our loop here. And we're going to wrap this around once or twice down here at the end to make it sturdy. Now we'll bring a bead down and we're just going to start wrapping around as we go up the bead strand. Bring a bead down. Well, you've got to go right there. Now, the biggest problem with this is that length of wire you need, and it's going to try grabbing everything on your desk. So just be aware of that and try and control it to a matter of degree as much as you can. Easier said than done, obviously. Okay, go down there. You need to be as close to that bead as possible. Now we'll bring this one up and around, and then we're just going to keep doing that. Push the bead down, come up and around, and this is only to stabilize it and give it a little bit of a little bit more oomph, so to speak. And we're going to bring a bead down, stabilize this a little bit. Now this is a flat bead, a coin bead style bead, so it's going to go a little, when it wraps around, it's going to go a little differently. It's going to want to go right into the flat area, and we're going to let it. But at the same time, it's pushing the wire up further than we want it, so we need to push it back down. Bring this thing as tight as you can to go over around your flat spot there. There we go. Back up here. Go around. Over that one, around. Now see, I cut more than I needed to, but I have cut too little before. So because I cut more than I needed, if I wanted to, I could probably go back down again. The biggest problem with that is going to be, will I have enough to get to the other end? Let's find out. So we'll go down this way now. And we're going to wrap this direction and then go this direction. And around. Oh, we have quite a gap there. We don't want that. So we'll push it up some. Now, if you don't make it to the end, you can always just end your wire right amongst your beads here. Like this is not going to make it quite there. So I'm going to end it right here where we come in here. And I'll just take my wire and pull it around and snug it down in here just like you would if you were making an earring or something and you were tucking your wire in. So we're going to tuck it in right there. And there is our first icicle as far as the base piece is concerned. Now, the next step on this would, that's sticking up a little more than I like it. Let's see if we can swoosh it down a little bit there. Nope, that English cut wants to sit there like that. So here's our base. Now I'd find a snowflake and put down here on the bottom. Or any other kind of wintry charm if you've got them. So I just happen to have, I was searching for something else the other day. Never did find another crystal, so I'm going to have to order some. And found this little snowflake. It's got a bail on it, which I don't know why. So we're going to take it off, and then we're going to get and jump ring this right here at the base of our snowflake here. I need to clean my desk off here again pretty soon. So there's our blue and crystal snowflake and snowflake icicle. Now the next step we have to do is make it a ring for the top. Naughty white beads, stay up there where we belong. Now I have this piece that I had been working on for something else, and I think we're just gonna cut it right here. And this can make our hook. We already got that one side in there, so what we're gonna do is take our wire mandrel, and we're just gonna hold the hook and just wrap it around. And then I will take my smaller ones here and make a loop on this side here. This loop here is just decorative. And then we'll open this. Why do you feel a little sharp there? That's better. Open this one up and slide our icicle on. And now it's all ready to be hung in the tree, in the window. My mom, I've made a couple of these for her, and she leaves them in her front window. Because they're crystal, they will throw rainbows, so they're very pretty. So that's number one. I don't specifically have a favorite place to shop for crystals. I just buy them usually when I see them. I have a place in Missoula that I buy a lot of my filigree pieces for my hair barrettes and such, and they have some sometimes. I actually think I got some of these at Michael's and some from Joann's. When Joann's went out of business, I went and got a few strands of odds and end things. But this, you see, this one is one of those that's half matte, half sparkly, and this one is too. They're sort of just alike except for different sizes. These were in a strand from Michael's that had like 3 or 4 different sizes on it. And so Mom is in a rehabilitation center. She was having trouble walking with the new hip, and she was too weak and things. So they put her in a rehabilitation center, and one of my sisters goes and stays with her every day, so she's not by herself. So she's doing pretty good. They've got her up and walking. They've been getting her up and walking with the assistance of the belt thing that they use, the nurses and things use to hold on to. So in case you start to fall, they can break the fall quite a bit. And so, and she has PT every day there. So So she's doing really pretty good. A gate belt, yeah. But anyway, there's a simple easy icicle. I tend to use mostly crystals in mine, sometimes just all crystals. But you can add obviously other colors to say you have a favorite color and you want, or you're making them for people and they have favorite colors. Then space those colors inside, just to give them a little bit more oomph. So there's one icicle, and as you can see, they're pretty simple to make. No harder than, say, if you're making a pair of earrings or something. You can do them really easily. So, but I like to start with a large and then go down to a small. I have this bag of crystals, and from the price tagging on them, I'm not sure if I got these from Randy or from Heather, but I'm leaning towards from Randy with these little price tickets on them. But those need to be put away. But we can make a second one if you want. Now, as I was saying about those half matte ones, I have them in like 4 different sizes, and they come on a strand. See, large, and then they go down in size. And they come in a strand with multiple strands of different sizes on them. And I'm fairly positive I got those from Michael's, because that's about the only place I know that has the 4-in-1 strands, which is what this is. So, well, this one's from Hobby Lobby. I've got so is this one. Their stickers are still right here beside them. I like to keep those handy so it gives me an idea. So, as you can see, stickers right there. Now there's a flower too. I'm not sure. We could put a flower in there. Not sure I'd want to wrap the wire too much, but we can. These are Chinese crystals, or not Chinese crystals, Egyptian crystals that I got from Randy. They're very sparkly. Oh, you're getting gusty winds, Cynthia? Ugh. Well, I'm not sure where you live, Cynthia, but right now we have snow. So we're a little bit, we're snowed in. Well, I shouldn't say we're snowed in. We can get out easily enough if we want to. But yeah, we got about 1 inch of snow last night. But I do like to go for the bigger ones to start with when I'm doing these. So, there you go. I love crystals. I have a thing for crystals, so I have lots of them. There's a nice big faceted one. This one too. If I want to put a really big one in it, there's that one. So there's lots of them. So if we're going to make this one, we're going to I think you're going to go in the other one. Maybe you too. What color do we want to go for next, guys? Oh, you're in Western Maine. We want to go for red. That's 2 votes for red. Okay, we're going to put these ones aside. They'll go into the next batch. And we have lots of red, so I can find some red, a couple of reds to fit in between our crystals here. And we'll make a nice red one. I think for this one, since it's sort of Christmassy, we'd like a deep red. Or maybe just a bright red. Let's see what I've got. Okay. Just crystal for the longer one and the red in the shorter. We could do that. Though I think there. And then we go. So now I'm going to do something a little different, and I'll show you what I mean. And I think you'll get the gist of how this works really good. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm getting some bead caps out. Now I know I have some of these in the larger size. Now we'll just use these. And I like the bead caps. These are actually double bead caps, so the smaller ones will get the smaller bead cap. These will get the bigger ones. So what we're going to do with these is put them between, and then when you pull your wire up, you don't have to have the big gap at the bottom, because as you swirl around, you're going to go through, your wire is going to go over the center of your bead cap here and leave, so that it already leaves a gap. And you don't need to feed in more wire for your gap that way, because you've already made the gap with these. So I'm putting all sorts of my tubes over here. I need to move some of them out. So anyway, the next step to making our crystal one here, we'll probably do the same with this one, is to get our wire cut and start stringing it. Now the thing is, like I say, we don't need extra wire as far as when we get down here. We don't have to leave that gap for our wire to go in between our beads, because it's going to go over the middle of our double bead cap. So we still need about 3 times this, but only because, not because of inside, but because of going around. So this is about 5, so we need about 15 inches. It's 12, 15's right here. So again, we'll just make the loop at the top, just like we did with the other one. This is more or less going to be the same concept as doing the other one. The difference is going to be that we don't need to leave some extra wire down here for it to feed in between the beads, because we're using the bead cap as the feed. And I know I'm probably off camera, and I apologize for that, because my wire tail is poking me in the tummy as it is. I was making some more key rings last night, and I actually I went to do cut the tail off, and went and actually cut the next loop up off too. It's like, that wasn't kosher. Okay, so we feed them down here. There's our main strand. Oh, this one's a bit heavy. That's all right. We can live with that. So now we're going to just make a regular loop, wrapped loop down here at the bottom, because like I say, we don't need extra space now, because we're going to use our double bead caps as where our wire is going to go in and wrap. I see Dawn and Cynthia are comparing where they live and where they went to school. So that's pretty cool. Sounds like you might be relatively close to each other. So again, I've got this long tail, so I got to be careful with wrapping so that I don't grab everything around me, because it's going to try. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to go off screen because the wire is so long, and it's going to try and move itself around. Okay, now we've got the wraps there. So what we're going to do is as we come around here, we're going to go over the bead, and then we're going to go in this bead, in the middle of this double bead cap, and just go up over the middle, up through the middle. This one I'm just going to wrap around the outside, because as much as possible, because it's a flower. Well, it doesn't want to, so we'll just let it go. Now see how I'm going to wrap this up here and end it. So now see how I use the bead cap as the place to wrap our wire around in, and it made it simplified how that went in without having to worry about pushing the beads down or getting them out of your way, anything like that. Made it really simple. So definitely something to think about when you're making your icicles. Now this one needs its hook and whatever I want to put on the bottom, and it's done. So as you can see, goes up, and it's about the same length now as the blue one. It's just all crystal. Now we're going to get some wire out and work on this one, but I'm probably going to get some bead cap, double bead caps out for it as well. It does make it a lot easier to do your wrap when you have I could, but I'm not going to. So anyway, I've got some smaller double bead caps. I'm not sure if I'm going to prefer the bigger or the smaller. Let's check these, see how these look in here. I think I might prefer the other ones just by putting the one in. No one said you could roll away. Now, another pretty thing is if you want white, you could put pearls in between these, and that looks really cool. Looks like I need one more. Now this one will turn on its side because it's sitting not in its proper way right now. And because of that, I think I might switch these two out. So, and let's see, it looks like it's about the same length, so it's probably about 5 inches. Yes, it is. So we'll need 15 inches of wire. Where do I get the double bead caps? Where did I get these double bead caps? I think I might have got them from Temu, but I'm not positive of that. I've had them for a little while. They're my favorite ones, so I'm going to have to start finding them again because I don't know how many I have left here. Oh, I still have quite a few. However, if you don't have double bead caps, you can just use 2 bead caps, one facing the opposite direction, and just go between them with your wire, and that works as well. So again, we need about 15 inches of our wire here. Now, if you don't want to wrap them back up like this, you don't have to. You could end with just a loop at the bottom and not have the decorative wire across it. I generally do the decorative wire because of 2 reasons. Number 1, I think it's pretty. And number 2, it stabilizes your bead strand some, because let's face it, that's a pretty long bead strand, 5 inches on a piece of wire. So that is one thing you have to consider. So now we start, of course, with making our loop at the top. I've been using the second loop on my looper up to do these wraps because, well, the long and the short of it is, I don't know how for sure big I want my hanger to be. And if I'm going to use a more sturdy, heavier hanger, like this one is 16 gauge wire, I'm going to want a bigger hoop so that I don't worry about it not being able to move around too much. So just a thought, if you are making these and concerned about what size of loop to make, I always use the bigger loop. So let's feed these guys on. Oh, come on, where's your hole? There it is. But I do 3 times the amount of wire because this wrap takes a lot more wire than a lot of people think it should because, I mean, it's just going up and around a little bit. Well, that up and around is what takes the wire up. Now I've got both regular ornaments on my tree. I collect glass ornaments when I go someplace, and so I'll always get a glass ornament. But then I also have some of these icicles in various colors and snowflakes on my tree that I've made. So I think they look really cool, and they're really pretty. So we're going to make this bottom loop here. And of course it's going to try and go every which way. So I'm going to back out. Sorry guys, so you can't really see me wrap that up. But now I've got this a little crooked, so I'm going to take hold of it and turn it just a hair's breadth. Get my wire tucked in there good. And then we're going to go start up. Just go up across into your bead caps. Now, like I said, you don't have to use doubles. You can use 2 single ones if that's what you've got. And then just go between the 2 single ones. Up and around. This is an odd shaped bead, but it'll still go up and around it. Come on, you. Don't go real loose on me here. There we go. There's number 3. But like I say, if you do not have double bead caps, you can use single bead caps and just go between the 2 bead caps when you bring your wire up. I should have got some single ones so I could have showed you that. But these need their decorative pieces and their hook, and these 2 are done. And our blue one is entirely done. If we want, we can get some more crystals out. I can get regular bead caps out and show you what I mean. We do have a little more time. What size wire for the icicles? I'm using 20 gauge. I would consider 18. The only problem is the 18 is harder to wrap around, number one. And number two, not all beads will go into 18. Oh, yeah. So, actually, we will get some more crystals out. I think maybe we'll go with a green one. And I will get some regular bead caps out, and I'll show you what it looks like with just regular bead caps and how to do that. Okay, what I'm getting here is a few different sizes of bead caps because we're going to have different sizes of beads, and I don't want tiny ones trying to go on a bigger bead. So we're going to get out a variety of sizes here. Got about 3 different sizes of bead caps here. Now we're going to get out some crystals. I'm getting out a lot more crystals than I need, especially since we're gonna put green in this one. So we have now we're gonna have a blue, a green, and a red one. We got all kinds of bead caps. Get our beads up here. Go you,